Welcome, everyone, to TJ and the Grumpy Old Man, a podcast where we talk sports and shoot the shit. I'm your host, TJ, and with me again, as always, is the Grumpy Old Man. They say there's no shame in his game because he is always the same.
That's me.
Grump, how are you?
Oh, wonderful. Let me move this thing a little closer here. I know it drives you crazy.
Thank you. Yeah, it's great. It's great for the volume on my headphones. It's fan-freaking-tastic.
Nobody else hears it, just you, so that's cool.
Oh, yeah. Okay, sure. Believe what you want, Grumpy. A lot happening, Grumpy, in the world of sports, as it seems like there always is. It always moves a million miles a second. Tough to keep up, that's for certain.
You know how fast that is? A million miles a second. A million miles a minute is really fast. A million miles a second, I don't think you need to go that far.
A million miles a second, Grumpy. We're cruising. What can I say? I mean,
moving really fast.
Yeah, it moves really fast. What can I say, man? I wanted to go ahead and bring up there a few points. Number one, week 7 in the NFL, or week 6 in the NFL. Seems like there's a lot going on there in that. I mean, I see so much inconsistency. I see so much inconsistency, Grumpy Old Man, across the league with what the rulings look like for certain players, not for others. And I'll tell you, these roughing the passer penalties are just it's unbearable at this point.
They don't want you see the spot on my shirt over here?
How the hell did you get water on your shirt?
I was drinking my juice and a little bit spilled out on the shirt over there.
You got some purple juice. Okay, Grumpy, let's talk about what we're talking about, right?
Because people are going to talk about what's going on with the Grumpy Old Man shirt. That's what they're going to say.
They're going to talk about how bad you are with paying attention. What they're going to talk about, Grumpy.
Well, they say that all the time.
I can't stay on topic. Grump,
in regards to the roughing the passer penalties, why are they doing that? Because you don't want to see quarterbacks, which are probably the most important position in sports. You don't want to see the big time quarterbacks getting hurt. That's the reason.
I understand the premise.
What does it kill? What does it kill? It kills the cash cow. What does the NFL care about? Cash.
This is deemed roughing the passer, by the way, today. That was deemed roughing the passer, 15-yard. Again, it wasn't stopping the Cardinals from absolutely routing the Cleveland Browns. That being said, this is a 15-yard roughing the passer penalty.
I would say that you should.
I'm almost ready to go back and just let them hammer quarterbacks. You want to know what? That used to be when football used to be fun. Here's the thing, right? I know, hey, we want to keep the quarterbacks healthy because if too many quarterbacks injured, it ruins the product. Man, oh man, there's nothing more as a fan that you like seeing is just another quarterback that was torching your ass all day long, just getting lit up.
I have a problem with this in a certain way. You see, who's that? Jackson, number 97. He gets pushed first by Garcia and then by Jones.
and he inadvertently
rushes into Murray. Murray doesn't even go down. And he's like, 180 pounds soaking wet? I mean, you should at least have to knock a quarterback down to get roughing the passer. I will say that.
I'm just ready. They always say how the pendulum swings, right? Hey, it used to be back in the rough and tumble days, anything goes. You could hit the hell out of quarterbacks. They wanted the violence in the sport. And now we're starting to see the pendulum move over here. And we want everything to be close to like two-hand touch. Hey, you can't do this. You can't do crackbacks. Can't do a lot of different types of things there to protect players and to keep them healthy, to prevent, take some of the physicality out of the game. They're going to find that, hey, you know what? Maybe we should allow a little bit more hitting on there. Maybe we were a little bit, too excessive when we sack the quarterback and we drill him into the ground. Maybe we should let that come back into the game. It's all about finding the healthy equilibrium on it. But this is just, I'm sorry. You see, this is a penalty right here. I'm just, man, it's Charmin soft.
The one thing I'll say, like I said, it's not Joe Turkey Jones against Terry Bradshaw. If you ever have that clip, TJ, you want to show that one, that's fantastic. But what I will say about that is, I didn't watch that game because it was over pretty early, let's be honest. So I didn't until you showed me that clip, I didn't even know that happened. But I thought that's not a penalty. Now you look at Joe Turkey Jones against Terry Bradshaw, perhaps you could say, yes, that would be a penalty in the olden days. And I think he actually was flagged for it. And it certainly would be today.
I like it when I'm pulling up here for you, Grumpy. I like how it's the YouTube has it as Turkey Jones's greatest sack.
Well, it's like I said, I remember it, and it's like 50 years ago.
This is the one that's always
he's got it. I'd say that's in the grasp. He's still grasping, still grasping, still grasping. suplexing on top of his head. Was there a flag? Oh, there it is. There's the flag, probably for Bradshaw for embellishment.
I was about to say, here's the thing, right? I mean, that was throwing a flag in 76. Again, nobody's saying, hey, we should do that. Nobody really does that anymore. But, like, when you're wrapping up the quarterback and you're driving him into the ground, not obviously suplexing, but I mean, there's got to be the healthy median. I'm just sick and tired. Like when I two-hand touch a quarterback after the ball's out because I've been pushed by an offensive lineman. I get a 15-yard penalty for roughing the freaking passer, right? And these are the same guys that are so quick and so athletically gifted to where they can leave the pocket like that. They could flip the switch and they could go ahead and gain 15, 20 yards and they could slide and avoid any type of punishment as well. I mean,
I do think it's kind of funny. You watch Bradshaw here. I mean, he flops like a sack of potatoes after this. He's able to roll over. Boink, boink, boink.
Yeah, obviously, again, I'm not advocating for hits like that by any means, grumpy old man. That being said, you have to have a little bit. You got to have a healthy balance. That's all I'm asking for is a healthy balance. We can't have two-hand touches to where a quarterback doesn't even fall down and a guy gets pushed into him, calling that a 15-yard roughing the passer penalty.
That's the problem I have with that. He was pushed into him by two guys once and then another, and then he just grazes up against him. He doesn't even go down. You should at least have to knock the quarterback down. I mean, I don't know. Yeah, I would not call that penalty. But there were some taunting penalties today that I approve of course.
Oh, yeah. Well, so here's the thing, right? I want to talk about this taunting penalty or this lack of taunting penalty, right? We talk about, hey, we want to be able to make sure we're promoting good sportsmanship. Remember, that's what it was all about. We want to promote sportsmanship. We want to make sure that these people are putting on a good show. And as well, they're respecting everybody, very respectful. So I want you to watch this by Aaron Rodgers, right? And we talk about taunting. Let's go ahead and watch this. Ooh, that is loud, Grumpy.
Pressure coming. Scrambles to his right. Pumps and runs. Aaron Rodgers is inside the pylon.
Scores a touchdown. Fine. Discount double check. Fine. I own you. I still own you. I always will own you. He's over here taunting the Chicago Bears. And again, like you listen to them talk about this, not in this clip afterwards, but they're like, oh yeah, look at all the swagger Aaron Rodgers has got as he's chanting to the fans, as he's saying, I own you.
No, I'm sorry. As always, I am consistent. I would have no problem with a fan coming down the stairs and beating him within an inch of his life. Shut up, Rodgers, you freaking loser, because you are the ultimate loser. When when the stakes are the highest, you will choke and gag away any chance to win. You suck. So you could beat the lowly Chicago Bears. You suck and blow. I don't know which one is worth. I hate him. You know what? I love his failure. Makes me happy.
It makes you happy that 15 years for the Green Bay Packers as a starting quarterback and he's only got one Super Bowl. That makes you happy?
Well, guy for that title, without a doubt. I mean, Gots are in contention every year, right? They go to playoffs every year, and somehow they manage to lose. Can't get the job done.
Yeah.
I mean, you see CeeDee Lamb.
Oh, well, hold on. I don't want to jump too far ahead of it. Now, this has been something that, I mean, like, right? I'm not a big Rodgers guy either because he does stuff just like that. Great quarterback, awful person. No use for him at all. Again, he speaks his mind. He says what he wants. But, geez, Louise, right? That could easily be called a 15-yard penalty. Or, them to come up and do some sort of like, hey, we need to go ahead and
he didn't do it to another player. But here's the thing. The players are starting to understand now.
But remember, right? The premise of the rule was to promote good sportsmanship. That's not good sport. In my opinion, that's not good sportsmanship. When you're yelling to other fans and you're yelling to the stands saying, I own you. I'll always own you. That's not good sportsmanship, I don't think, right? That's the point of the rule.
No, I 100% agree. I would have no problem with them flagging him, taking the touchdown away, and saying you're fired. You'll never be allowed to play in the NFL again. That should have been his punishment.
Oh, man. Oh, man. Oh, goodness gracious, grumpy old man. I got a few comments, but I thought that was odd. Oh, before we get too much into today's podcast, remember, this is a sports podcast that happens twice a week, every single Thursday, 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, and every single Sunday, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Now, we're also going to be bringing this to the podcast format. So we're going to be having this posted there on, Apple, iTunes, Spotify, Google Podcasts, anywhere you listen to podcasts. You'll also be able to catch this podcast of TJ and the Grumpy Old Man. That is coming soon in the works. Yes, Grumpy. That being said here, Alexander saying, good evening, guys. Just when I thought my weekend wouldn't get any worse. Well, it just got worse after how today we absolutely sucked. Brian Flores needs to be fired, but I'm tired of all these ticky-tack calls.
It's funny, Alexander, you bring that up. And I thought about you this morning when I saw Miami try to lose the game and Urban Meyer saying, no, I'm trying to get fired from here. So I'm going to try my best to lose the game. And then somehow, some way, Jacksonville beats Miami. I mean, it had to happen in a foreign country. If it happens in a foreign country, did it really happen? I don't know. But I know Miami's now 1-5. I'm not saying that Brian Flores needs to be fired. It all stems from whoever what Greer is their GM, Chris Greer, is that correct? I believe that's who it is. They've had a plethora of first-round draft picks the last number of years, and they've just mismanaged those assets. Every single one started picking Tua Tagovailoa over Justin Herbert. That was the big one. Everything else, they overreached on players in positions of need as opposed to just going with the best player. And now they're where they are. And I don't know. I don't think Flores has lost the team, but they're in trouble.
I don't think Flores has lost a team, but that entire sequence was mind-boggling. And I mean, it was the morning game over there in London. We're talking about the Dolphins, Grumpy Old Man, against the Jacksonville Jaguars. Now, I was shocked as the game was kind of coming to the end, right? There was a minute and I think 45 seconds left on the clock. Jacksonville had the ball at the 40-some-odd yard line, and they start off by getting a full start penalty. Then they have some read option, which Lawrence keeps it, loses about a yard or two. From 1 minute and, 5 seconds drains off the clock. So it's about 1 minute and 40 seconds left. In between plays, they let another 30-some-odd seconds drain off the clock as Jacksonville has 3 timeouts left. And I thought to myself, oh, surely Urban Meyer wants to find a way to lose this game. They keep getting backed up, and they have a 4th and long with 5 seconds, 6 seconds left on the clock. And that sneaky son of a gun, hey, power to Urban Meyer, that sneaky bastard goes ahead and runs one kind of towards the middle of the field to get him in field goal range. Jacksonville had not hit a field goal for the first 5 weeks of the NFL season. And today they went 3 for 3 on field goal attempts, 2 of them with 50+ yards.
Yeah, the whole secret, the coaching, Urban Meyer is so out of touch with what needs to be done on the field. There was a play, you got to remember, the Dolphins had a big lead at half. Big lead. I think it was 13-3 at half. And Jacksonville comes back, takes a 17-13 lead. Tua does one of those little noodle throws over the middle, gets picked off. They get it down to the 20. It winds up, they drive it down. They have 1st and goal, 4th and 2 from the 9. 4th and 2 from the 9.
Okay.
You're up by 4 points with, I think it was 12 minutes to go in the game. What's the move you should do there? Should you go for it, or should you extend the lead and keep momentum going?
I probably would extend the lead. Just kick the field goal.
Just to go up by 7. They go for it. Don't make it. Miami just rolls right down the field, takes control of the game. And it's like, are you kidding me? It's just so dumb. It scares me. So much of the coaching in this league is so dumb that it's seriously, I'm like, are these guys are they just stupid? And then I have to remember, most of them are former football players. So, little bit light in the brain power up there. Right, DJ?
Yeah, do you need to catch a drink or take like a 5-second break over there? It seems like you're struggling over there, Grumpy, right now.
I'm not struggling.
You're struggling. Adrienne saying, hey, what's up, Adrienne? Grumpy.
Yo, Adrienne, what's up?
Oh man, dude, I give you your one layup to where you do that easily. Take a pull off of that drink over there, Grumpy. I don't know. You need about 10 more ounces of fluid right in your stomach. Come on.
I'm still adjusting to the fact that her name isn't Adrienne it's Adrienne, and you say Adrienne, and it makes me want to lean away from the Adrienne, we did it, because that's not her name.
Bad listening right there, Grumpy. I don't need you to over-explain that, but thank you so very much.
I'm trying to be an
Alexander
NFL coach and overthink everything.
there you go. There you go. Alexander saying Aaron Rodgers with that ultimate insult, and Shannon Woodley doesn't think he's a bad guy. I have to assume that's his wife.
No, that's probably his girlfriend for now. All I know is every other girlfriend he's been with thinks he is a bad guy, and she will eventually too.
Yeah, Alexander's saying, yep, they went for it on 4th and 1 with 1 minute and 49 seconds left, and they didn't get it. Yeah, I do remember that. Well, here's the thing. I didn't understand the formation they ran the ball out of. I'm like, what the hell type of formation that was it? I think they could have gotten the first down. I mean, line up in a heavy formation and go say, hey, we're running the football. They stacked everybody inside the box, and you had a mismatch. You had more defenders than you had offensive linemen and running backs to block with, and they still determined to run the ball with numbers not in their advantage. You just think to yourself, I'm like, oh, maybe that's one of your time to say, let's call a quick timeout here. We still got 1 minute and 40. And the thing is, you look at what Miami was doing leading up to that drive, that run, that no urgency. So I thought it was mismanaged by Flores too. It wasn't a good job coaching on his side, grumpy old man.
Yeah, it wasn't. I don't, like I said, football coaches. How do you explain it? Dumb.
Yeah, that's a good one, Grumpy. Yeah, that being said, I wanted to move right along here. Now, did you happen to see there was a pitch invader, grumpy old man, on on the field today in London?
I did not see it.
I don't know how long you watched the game or if you got to see this. Now, I saw this on social media. I'm going to go ahead and pull this up for you. But this is a guy who apparently makes a little living off of entering these games. Ooh, man, oh man, that's loud. Off of entering these games.
Is it Mark Gordon?
No. This guy, he comes and he always dresses in the uniform of the team. And as you can tell, he's got the 69 on the back of the jersey. I'm pulling up his name. He does this for cricket matches and all this other stuff like that. So this guy, his name is Jarvo69. And as you can see here, grumpy old man, let me ask you this. There seems to be no urgency to get this guy off the field. I'm just thinking about, in the United States, if there's a guy walking on there, let's say a streaker or somebody on the field, they're usually out there with the people in the yellow jackets hunting the son of a gun down. And they're just kind of like casually walking around saying, hey, you can't be out here.
Only in England, right? I mean, it happens all the time in England. I mean, eventually, okay, come on off, fella. It's one guy. Oh, two guys. There they are. It's like, yeah, didn't seem like it was a big deal at all. How did he even get out there? The officials are going, what the heck's going on?
Yeah, where the hell
he's arguing with the official.
He's dapping up the players. The officials are going, where the hell is the security to get this guy off the field? And look at him just kind of like trotting around here, walking over here. There's a lot more urgency usually with this, but I mean, this is a guy who does this, grumpy old man, for a living. I thought that portion was a little funny. And then there's another clip here to where he just does this on a consistent basis, Grump. I had no idea. This guy Jarvo69, he's pretty comical with this type of stuff too. So he just consistently goes out there to sporting events. How to get?
But see, he's funny about it. I guess that's why nobody gets too angry with him. He seems entertaining. Everyone seems to be entertained.
All the fans seem to like him too, because some of the streakers go out there and they do something different, but. This guy,
he just wanders out.
I was about to say he doesn't go out there running around, so maybe that's why they don't take like great haste with him, saying we need to get this maniac off of the field.
Yeah, he seems very unassuming. Can't take too much offense at him.
No,
hey, how you doing, fellas?
Going out there. Hey, what's going on, guys? Again, another situation where there is not a single soul out here stopping him from walking out with the team.
And another thing, once you kind of get a rep for that, it's almost like Georgina. You don't even know who that is, TJ.
You're going to have to break that down for everybody else, Grumpy, too.
What?
Yeah, so you're going to have to break what the hell that means.
She was the kissing bandit. She would go out there during games, a girl with big boobs. She would go out there and she would kiss like a quarterback or a pitcher or whatever. Once you get a rep like that, people, oh, look who it is. It's Jarvo69. It's Georgina. And it was certainly, when Georgina went out there was no way we were going to see an old player come and knock her down like they used to do for guys. Oh my gosh.
I was about to say.
Hilarious.
So this guy, he's just a buffoon. He's just doing that buffoonery. And I just love that. By the third time, they're like, all right, get this freaking maniac off the field now. Get him off the pitch. Come on, we're trying to play a game. Once is okay. It's kind of funny. Twice, all right, maybe. 3 times, get the hell out of here, you
The
fool.
worst part is the shirt comes up and you get to see his belly.
Oh, I know. I know. I saw this, and apparently he made his appearance. That was, he tried a 4th time. Oh, God. So he made that appearance. He made the appearance out there at the game. I do like how every single one of these –
the best thing is when people think about that game, they're going to say they're not going to remember who won. They're going to remember, oh man, yeah, Jarbo was there.
Let me ask you this: how the hell is this guy not escorted out of the stadium? Right? Once usually you evade the pitch, you go out there on the field, you immediately get tossed. That's usually how that goes.
I'll tell you, it's almost like the fights in the stands in Philadelphia. They don't escort you out. They just, hey, just go back to your seat. I know you gave that guy a beating, but you know what? Hey, let's rest up for the rest of the game.
I was about to say, hey, everybody gets angry here in Philly. Let's just calm down. I would have done the same thing if that guy was wearing another jersey in our home stadium. I can't believe it. So now, speaking of fights in the stands, grumpy old man. Oh yes. Got some fights in the stands here. Now this is the one between the Seattle Kraken, their first, fan base, relatively new fan base, only 2 or 3 games they've played so far in the NHL. And here is a fellow diehard Seattle Kraken fan entering an enemy territory. Now, I'm always curious about this. Now, this guy is in Nashville. How the hell has there been a Seattle Kraken fan who has migrated his way to Nashville? I assume he has to be a Seattle native. I mean, the team's been around for 3 games. I mean, brand spanking new team.
I have a little different slant on it. I think this kid here, this is Nashville, right?
Yes, this is Nashville.
Some wimpy little kid from Nashville. That's probably his next door neighbor. And, he's been mowing the lawn and leaving strips that he should be mowing for Mr. Kraken there. And he's like, you know what? I know this kid goes to the hockey games. I'm going to get a Kraken jersey on, and I'm going to give him a beating in the stands. That's what I'm going to do because, this kid's not doing his job next door neighboring. So I'm going to show him who's boss. Because if you would have told me, I would have thought that the guy with the beard and the beer belly there in the backwards hat, I would have thought he's certainly a Nashville fan.
The guy with the Kraken. You're talking about the guy with the Kraken jersey on.
Yes.
Yeah. It's he fits a demographic of, hey, I'm from Nashville.
Yeah,
I'm partying around. So here it is. I'll let you watch it transpire, and I've got another angle too. Jeez Louise, you want to talk about chaos in the stands, man, because we were talking about how, with all the fights, we see a lot of football fights. You see a lot of fights in the MLB amongst fans. Again, though, it's not like it's always a sellout. There's more room to kind of, spread yourself out and really throw punches. Now this, I mean, in the NHL arena, if it's a sold out crowd, everybody's on top of each other. There's no like maneuvering around. You're going to be getting your stuff and business all over other people. So I'll let you watch here this clip.
Unless you got a guy who's starting from the aisle. Hey.
He said, get that out of there. He's got his Johnny Gord. So they start.
He's a hockey.
You want to talk about? We'll stop here. You want to talk about a guy who's a hockey fan? He's got the pull down of the jersey, and he starts punching him with these rabbit punches like that right there, grumpy old man.
Yeah. And rabbit punch to the back of that. He's pulling down and getting with the uppercuts. But look here, they try to lift the jersey up because I don't think he's got a tie down there. See. He's not tied down. Oh, the other guy's coming back, but he's taking more blows.
Another Seattle fan. Jesus. And it just, I'll be honest with you. Both of these people exchanged some hella punches. This right here, he's pummeling the other guy. Oh, man. This guy right here, Captain Backwards Cap, did not take a single punch, and it just come in and just unprovokedly punch this guy in the face a few times. I was about to say.
That's KO. That's KO. Down he went.
Oh, man,
goodness gracious.
Jeez Louise.
He's out. He's out. Look, they're stretchering him out. He's out.
Well, this is what I mean about in the NHL arena. everybody's on top of each other to where if you're getting punched and your body, let's say, is moving in anywhere besides the little tiny seat that you purchased, you're all over everyone else. And there's nothing more I hate than when you see, it's the same exact thing when you see, like, Grumpy Old Man loves it when, an intoxicated woman will throw her beer on a guy and another man has to punch and beat up her boyfriend or something like that, or the guy he's with. So this is a situation where it's not necessarily all these drunk people, these people who are fighting are being thrown, and they're taking their business across all of these other people unprovokedly. And I'm just thinking to myself, I'm like, kind of sucks for those other fans in the stand for certain.
Yeah, you know what? The one thing I got from this: don't mess with Corona Boy, because he's a one-punch knockout king.
The guy at this,
he hit him with one punch. I mean, he knocked him out.
Okay, well, he wasn't expecting. And Yanni Gord over here getting a few more punches in as the guy is like, let's stop. Let's be civilized. He's throwing a few more punches. Get this guy the hell on out of here. And I'll tell you, right? What do we always say? The guy with the, oh, man, I'm telling you, he looks like he is concussed. He's dazed. Something else is going on because you could just tell he got rocked. He
got hit so hard. Look at his haircut. It's all messed up.
Here's the thing, too, right? Always the guy with the high ground has the advantage. Very rarely, if you have to be an excellent fighter, an excellent scrapper, if you've got the low ground and you win, usually the guy with the high ground always has that advantage, and this is no different.
Think about what happened when Obi-Wan Kenobi was battling Luke Skywalker in like the third Star Wars.
Anakin Skywalker.
Anakin Skywalker. Sorry about that. Think about when he was battling him, right? Darth Vader. He's like, Anakin, you've lost. I have the high ground. No. Cuts his arms and legs off. I mean, that's just the way it goes.
So this is it from another angle. And this is what I mean by, remember how I told you I feel bad for the innocent people here at the game just enjoying it. So here we see these are some older individuals. They're just chilling here watching a hockey game. And right, we got our guy here. He's world star. He's getting the fight engaged. And these are your casual fans. They're not wearing any National Predator, any Seattle Kraken apparel. They're just wearing, hey, I've got my sweatshirt on. I'm just here to enjoy a hockey game. I won free tickets with the company I work for.
They won free tickets for mall walking for this month. They got free tickets to a Kraken Nashville game. I understand.
Yes. So here we go. I'll let you watch this. She's got her drink in her hand, and she's just like, oh my God, this guy's having to protect them. Here's Corona Boy.
Corona Boy hopping over him.
Corona Boy was not even a part of the Seattle Kraken posse over here.
No.
Corona Boy was many seats over.
I like Corona Boy. He's my favorite.
I do not like Corona Boy.
I do, just because he's coming in to save people. He's not like you waiting till the
fight's
over.
He's not coming in to
bring it up now.
He's not coming to save people. He just comes in to pummel this guy. These are the only two people fighting. Corona Boy says, hey, I'm going to add him. I'm going to be a third party in.
Yeah. Look at this. Boom.
Boom. I want you to watch this lady. I want you to watch this old lady here who's got a drink in her hand. I just want you to watch her. As she sees all this chaos going around, she starts taking another drink there from her. From her alcoholic beverage.
The boy's waiting. He's waiting and waiting to get a shot, and there it is.
There's the older lady's just drinking more from her alcoholic beverage. The people are beating the hell out of each other. I'm just going to keep drinking. I'm going to keep sitting here and enjoying my drink. Hopefully they get the hell out of here sometime.
Nothing to see here.
Hey, she's just sitting there drinking a drink. I got to get more alcohol in me, man. Oh man. This is my first hockey game I ever went to, and there was a fight between fans that broke out. I heard there were fights usually sometimes on the ice, not between the fans that's sitting right next to you.
You know what? I'm going to tell you what it really seems like to me.
What does it seem like?
It seems like you are the lady with the drink, and as soon as it's over, you stand up and say, okay, everyone, it's all over now. Nothing to see here. Come on, everybody.
Man, oh, man, I'll tell you.
I love Corona Boy. I'm sorry.
No, I do not like Corona Boy. What are you talking about, Grumpy?
I just think his ingenuity, I wonder what was going on with him. He waited. I tell you what, he was smart. He's waiting for his shot. He hit him a couple times and kind of off, and then he's waiting. He pulled back a couple times, held off, and finally he opened up his chin. Boom! Down he went, and that was it.
Well, here you see the guy in the gray. This is his friend. The guy in the gray must be his friend, too, because he's coming from the same area. And he's like, hey, I don't want Joe over here who's intoxicated as hell. You could tell him. There's the guy in the gray shirt. He's trying to stop his friend.
I think he's pushing him into the action.
No, he for certain is not. He's trying to grab him. And here it is, right? This is what it is. You see the fans over here who are stopping him. This guy's third party in, right? If they got two people who want to settle the fight, whatever, let him do it. This guy comes in and just starts unprovokedly punching another guy. You're like, oh. I think it's like Corona Boy. No, not a big fan of Corona Boy right there. Not a fan.
And
Why is he getting involved? Why is Corona Boy now wanting to fight Mr. Nashville?
I just love Corona Boy. I'm sorry. I just do, because he was kind of sneaky, but he's got a good punch. I gotta say, he's he's using his wits. He's not a guy. He's saving up his energy. He's not just flailing away like we see. And his punches are pretty. And he waits and waits and waits. And as soon as Nashville Boy sticks his head up, ba ba boom!
He throws a few punches. Well, he throws a few punches, and other people is like, okay. Then he's like, okay, let's wait, relax. People are holding both of his arms.
But watch,
Corona Boy.
No,
they're holding both of his arms. He's waiting. He's waiting. He's waiting. People are like, please stop. Stop with the violence. Stop with the violence. Corona Boy is being held back by two different individuals, right? You're an unsung hero. And then somebody's like, okay, it looks like Corona Boy has calmed down. And Corona says, absolutely not.
Oh, he pulled back.
He pulls back. He's waiting for the perfect shot. Like, oh, boom. Jesus.
Down he goes.
Down goes Frazier. And our friend, my friend over here, Miss Old Lady, who's just sitting here sipping on a drink saying, holy crap, this is the first time I've been to a hockey game. This will be the last damn time I go there too.
Okay, here's the thing. I just want to say two quick things.
Go ahead.
First of all, they're saying, hey, stop Corona Boy. You want to know why they got in? Because they know Corona Boy has a reputation like Ross Johnston does. When Corona Boy gets into a fight, the other guy loses. They know Corona Boy. He's been there before. Okay, he's been there before. And even the old lady at the end, what did you hear? Corona, Corona. That was the chant. They cut it off. They didn't want you to hear it, but that's what was going on. Corona Boy was probably in section 312. Whenever there's a scuffle, they say, Corona Boy, go settle it. And down he goes.
So instead of them having some sort of security measures, they have Corona Boy, and he preemptively picks who he is going to be on the side with and pummels the other guy. Is that what you're trying to tell me, grumpy old man?
Very, very true. And here's
that's the Nashville Predators' defense against fan disturbances.
I have no problem with that. Now, here's the thing. Here's the best thing. Here's the best thing. This is why, yes, you can listen to this podcast on iTunes and what are the other things?
iTunes, Google Plus, items of that nature.
All those things. But that's why you really have to watch it, because you got to see the play-by-play when guys like Corona Boy or Drunken Woman or all these other ones who get involved with scuffles. I mean, you need the play-by-play.
More entertaining than watching Zdeno Chara play. Oh, that's for certain. That's for certain. Now, I wanted to show you here this too, grumpy old man. Now, did you happen to see that Patrick Mahomes' mother was not a big fan? She said, okay, people, this should not be an interception on a quarterback. That should be a fumble or anything else. Just putting it out there. Go Chiefs. Patrick Mahomes, Randy Mahomes, was upset that the ball that bounced in between Tyreek Hill's hands and was intercepted by somebody on the Washington football team counted as an interception. And Randy Mahomes was not very happy about that. We need to go ahead and change the rules, grumpy old man.
You know what? This is why moms should not be on Twitter, particularly when they're looking at their sons. I'm sorry. Okay, people, that should not be an interception on the quarterback. That should be a fumble.
My little boy Patrick has been getting a lot of bad media. He's been a darling child since day one of him starting in the NFL. They've loved him, and now all of a sudden he's thrown like 7 or 8 interceptions this year, and he's been getting just criticism in the paper, just criticism there, online. People are saying, why is Patrick Mahomes not look good? Well, Tyreek Hill is dropping the ball, and that's the reason why my young boy is throwing interceptions.
Okay. This is the same woman who got upset last year when people were calling her some Pat Mahomes, and she had to get on there and say, it's Patrick, not Pat. And she figured, well, that worked because everyone was cowed by her to call him Patrick. So now she figures she can change the NFL rule book so her son can get preferential treatment and not get interceptions because it makes him look bad. Well, guess what? You know what? I'm not saying Patrick Mahomes is not an excellent quarterback, because he is. But I'll tell you what, in the really big games, he ain't played real well in either Super Bowl, honestly. Just saying.
So let me ask you this. Hold on. She didn't like them calling him Pat Mahomes?
Yes. His name is Patrick. It's not Pat. It's Patrick.
Oh, my.
So now they all call him Patrick. I just call him Mahomes.
I do remember they did used to call him Pat Mahomes for a while. Yeah. I wondered why that had stopped.
I mean, they want to use economy of words, Patrick.
Yeah, they wanted to save a little extra there on it. Now, This, for example, grumpy old man. Now this happened. Ooh, the New England Patriots found a way to lose that today. Yikes! I mean, they
didn't deserve to win.
They even won the ball there in overtime. So they had the ball first there in overtime. So talking about this, so this right here should not be an interception of Mac Jones. That should not be an interception for Trayvon Diggs. Definitely not a pick six. Guess we got to change that. But let me ask you about this. What the hell type of play call is this? I mean, there's 2 minutes and 35 seconds left. Dallas has 2 timeouts. Your defense has done a good job of stopping the Cowboys all day long.
No, you haven't. No, they didn't. Dallas had 536 yards of total offense. Dallas kept shooting themselves in the foot. They had over 120 yards in penalties. They turned the ball over 3 times in the red zone. Dallas absolutely dominated New England today. Dominated them.
Play call here. I'm not saying, hey, I mean, ideally, right? If he makes this catch right, you're in good shape there. But I don't get the pass. Run the ball twice more, or try to. Yes.
It's 2:35. Dallas moved the ball up and down the field. That was right after they missed a field goal.
And everybody, I'll tell you one thing. Trayvon Diggs is everybody's darling child. He's the best. He's the best defensive back in all of the NFL. He's this, he's that. I'm like, all right, let's pump the freaking brakes a little bit. This is the first or the second time that he's had an interception that's taken a fortuitous bounce to him, right? Because let's look at this, right? If he doesn't drop this ball, if he doesn't have a fantastic break on him, it's not like he's creating that pick six. There's about 2 yards. 2 yards of separation between him and the wide receiver, okay? It wasn't a great play by Diggs. The ball bounced to him. Good reaction. Good interception.
Was a little bit ahead of the receiver.
Let's stop a little bit on the overlove on Diggs, okay? I'm not saying he's not good, but best defensive back in the NFL, full haul, okay?
Okay. But now, do you have the very next play after that touchdown?
No.
It's a 74-yard touchdown right against Tavon Diggs. Same thing.
Trayvon Diggs. That's
whatever his name is. Diggs, number 7. He got lit up for a 74-yard touchdown.
Yes, I do remember about 84 or something like that for the Patriots.
Yes.
Yeah. So again, like everybody loves Trayvon Diggs. Oh, he's this, he's that. I'm like, let's chill a little bit on the Diggs love. That's all I'm saying. Not the best defensive back in the NFL. Okay. No. Now I want to talk a little bit about Ed Orgeron, grumpy old man. Now Ed Orgeron here, they've mutually agreed, LSU and Ed Orgeron, to part ways after the 2021 season.
That means he's fired. Fired. Goodbye. Bye, Ed.
What makes you say he's fired?
Just by what the athletic director said.
Who is what did the athletic director say?
Oh gosh. Okay, you want me to read it the exact?
No, I want a summary. Grump. What did they
say? Ed accepted this news with grace. Blah blah blah. He agrees. Yada yada. It's time to go in a new direction. That doesn't sound like a mutual agreement to me. That sounds like he was fired, and they're going to continue to pay his salary. That tells me he's fired.
Oh, hey, Ed Orgeron looked out. I mean, obviously, he will probably want to stay there at LSU, but now he's going to be collecting his salary and then probably taking a new job. You have to figure he's a guy who's going to be highly sought after here as this season ends, no?
I don't know. I think he's perfect for the New England Patriots because they're notorious for hiring fired college coaches and then paying them $15,000 a year to keep their salary down for the coaches so Belichick can make more money because he's still cashing those college checks.
What are you talking about?
Brett Bielema. They did the same thing.
Brett Bielema?
Yeah, Bielema, I think his name is.
Bielema. You're talking about the coach that used to coach for Wisconsin?
Yep.
Okay.
And then Arkansas.
Okay. He coached.
Then he had a lawsuit against Arkansas.
How long ago did Brett Bielema coach, Grumpy? 20, 30 years ago? What are you talking about?
2-3 years ago.
How long did he coach for the Patriots?
Oh, he was coaching the Patriots last year. They had a lawsuit because he was an assistant coach, and they said, well, he's only making $15,000 because Arkansas didn't want to pay off the balance of his deal. They said, well, he's coaching in the NFL. He says, well, he only gets paid $15,000 a year with the NFL. That way he could get that Arkansas money. It was a big lawsuit.
Okay, he's gonna stay in college, Grump. He's going to stay. Why the hell wouldn't he stay in college? He wants to continue. Why would he not stay in college? He's looked at as a god, right? At LSU, he was looked at. And I'll be honest now. There was items in that athletic article too, where they talked about the reasons weren't so cut and dry as to why he was fired. It seemed like football was a second priority to him. I mean, this is a guy who won a national championship 2 years ago.
2 years ago, yep. And they said that he was chasing women was number one reason. Now you think about all the things that go on in LSU, and you're worried about him chasing women. I mean, Geis, who was their running back there, he supposedly raped numerous students on campus, all this stuff happened under Les Miles. Well, I don't know. With all the chicanery that goes on there, I don't see why they had a problem with this guy. I mean, here's the thing. You want to know the real reason why he was let go? We weren't winning games anymore. That's all that matters.
Well, here, okay, Grump, maybe you need to get you seem parched, Grumpy. Catch yourself a little bit of water, Grumpy. You seem parched. Now, I will say, yeah, with guys, I do remember that. I remember the running back. He did have rape allegations there when he was at LSU, and again, that popped up, and he was a highly sought after running back originally leaving college too. I think he was drafted by the Washington Redskins at the time period, and they got injured that first year, and then all the allegations popped up and never played again.
And then they had a 74-year-old part-time worker at the Superdome named Gloria Scott, who went to Orgeron with allegations that Darius Guy sexually harassed her at a high school game. Okay, 74-year-old woman, 22-year-old football player. And she said she would keep quiet if LSU paid her money not to go forward.
Well, no, in high school, you said at a high school. Wow.
Yes, at a high school game. He sexually harassed her at a high school game. And if LSU paid her money, she would not go public with this. 74-year-old woman. I don't know. I just find that a little bit suspicious. Looks like she's just trying to cash in.
Now, that one is one of those where I'd be like, hey, let's just turn this over to the police. We'll see what they think. Yeah. Paul F saying, what's up, boys? What's up, Paul? Yeah, absolutely. Now, I will say this too, Grumpy Old Man, regarding Ed Orgeron. I think he stays in college. He'll probably go find somewhere else to coach. I mean, and I think about LSU, right? With all the nonsense that we find out later on that Les Miles did, that they just turned a blind eye to, I'm shocked that Ed Orgeron gets a kick out the door. It either has to be one or two things. They were embarrassed about when Les Miles' information came out, and they didn't want another or possible Les Miles 2.0, or maybe they, as you mentioned, they just weren't winning enough games, and they said goodbye Ed Orgeron.
That's all. I mean, they kept Les Miles for a long time,
and they let all the immoral items that he participated in just kind of.
Well, here's the thing: LSU is just LSU. It's Clemson South. It's Ohio State South. It's Oklahoma East. I mean, all these big schools do it. All of them do it. It's funny. I saw a 30 for 30 on SMU football, which was paying players under the table. They got the death penalty, and it just about killed the program for years and years and years. Where today, that'd be okay. No problem at all doing that. Back then, they were buried. Absolutely buried with that.
It's funny how that works. It certainly is, Grumpy Old Man, that how that's changed. Look at that. Yeah, Ed Orgeron there, since he's won his championship, has been 9-8. And remember, last year was with COVID too. So I mean, they had this shortened, truncated season, and I mean, it was a lot of teams struggled and underperformed because of what happened and everything that was around their COVID. So I mean, you look at it, okay, this was really the first year I would look at as a full sample size of how he had bounced back after the championship. But I'm just shocked.
And I'm going to tell you what, the LSU program is certainly throwing him under the bus right now. Everything that they've heard, he tried to pick up a woman at a gas station, and they said the dialogue that went back and forth, and she was a member of the wife of somebody from the Louisiana administration. And I just find it funny. These things are coming out. They're really trying to paint this guy with an ugly brush. I don't know anything about him, okay? But I just find it funny that you're throwing, tidbits, this, that, and the other thing to make this guy look bad. When the bottom line is the only thing that really mattered is that they're 9-8 since winning that championship.
That's the only thing they really cared about. So they can go up there and say, hey, we cared about XYZ. We cared about the morality behind it. They don't care about any of that type of stuff. Nope. Because if he was still winning games, still winning championships, they'd say, oh, man, this cash cow, we got to keep him. We cannot go ahead and let him go. That's for certain. So I don't disagree with you on that portion at all, Grumpy Old Man. But I did read, those type of tidbits. It's odd. Maybe there's more that we're not being let, inside information to. But he'll find somewhere else to coach, and I'm sure he'll be able to revamp some other program. That also being said, now, did you see the Ole Miss in Tennessee game? Had a wild ending, and those fans there from Tennessee were throwing, beer. They're throwing beer cans and throwing a whole bunch of crap there at the Ole Miss team and roster.
If you would have let me fish up with Ed Orgeron, it ties into the Ole Miss thing, because he used to coach Ole Miss, and they would bring up how he, used to coach at Ole Miss, and alcoholism is why he got fired, and he was not mentally stable. I mean, I don't know. It sounds like you're throwing a guy under the bus. So just part of LSU's smear campaign on Ed Orgeron going forward, which now leads us to Ole Miss. I did not see that game, but if you could please run the videotape, I'd appreciate it.
I don't have the videotape of it.
Okay.
I'm not sure. I'll try to find it here in a second. I wanted to poll you, number one. I mean, like, ugh. And you got to be careful how much you serve these college kids, these freaking maniacs. These kids are like, oh, I'm impervious. I could do no wrong. Throwing those beer. Come on, you got to do better than that. You cannot throw beer cans at the other team. I'm sorry.
Aren't most of them underage?
I'm sure they are.
I mean, I think even in Mississippi, 21 is the legal drinking age, isn't it?
Well, it's not. This game was not at Mississippi. It was at Tennessee. Tennessee fans were throwing there. So
okay. Well, it's the same thing, right? I mean, I think
Tennessee
most of these kids. Most of these kids, I think 21 is the legal drinking age, isn't it?
Yes.
Okay. Well, I mean, most of these kids are probably younger than 21. Just saying.
No, I'm just saying. You said we were even at Ole Miss. I'm pretty sure. It's different. That's all I'm saying here. But I mean, again, this is it's one of those things. You looked at the aftermath. They're throwing anything and everything. I'm looking at some of these images. They're throwing mustard. They're throwing anything and everything. Grumpy old man onto the field. I'm just like, man, oh man, come on.
You want to know how you stop that? You want to know how you stop that? Corona Boy. That shit stops.
Oh, yeah, Corona Boy. As you can see.
Corona Boy down there, he gives them all a beating. Back to the seats they go.
Oh, that's what it is, huh, Grumpy?
You need Corona Boy. Corona Boy is my hero.
Oh, stop. You see here the beer cans, the pizza boxes. You see here mustard.
French's mustard. Very nice.
Oh man, I'll tell you, it's something else. It is something else, Grumpy old man.
Looks like he came right from the tailgate into the game.
Yeah.
Who brings mustard into a game? I mean, is the mustard that they serve at the concession stand not good enough? Were these concession workers who were throwing these things? Maybe it's unfair labor practices going on there. We don't know. I think it's unfair to you to besmirch the student body. You don't know who is doing it. This very easily could have been a concession worker complaining about long hours.
Well, you know what it could be also, Grumpy, I'm thinking about it, is maybe this guy doesn't like the fact that it's tough. Maybe they have to squeeze out individual mustard packets, and this guy's like, I'm done. I'm sick. I'm tired of it. I want to have as much mustard as I want on my freaking hot dog. So maybe that's it, Grumpy. Now, we got this, Alexander. Thanks for sending this to us here. Now, Grumpy old man, I want to show you. Here is the clip.
Okay.
So we're starting to see they're getting things thrown out there on the field, and they're still continuing. And again, like it's tough to see, but the fans are throwing anything and everything at them. And again, Ole Miss football team is kind of provoking them a little bit too. Like, yeah, we beat the hell out of you.
I asked him when he walked away. This is getting stupid.
When he says it's getting stupid, he probably shouldn't be laughing.
Ole Miss having a I'm going to say you guys right now, I'm on the Ole Miss sideline. I would not let my team be down here anymore.
Too many men on the field.
If I was down here.
What, Grumpy?
That's a too many men on the field penalty right there. Why they got? There's much more than 11 guys on the field there. Ole Miss should have been penalized. I understand why this happened.
Oh, there it is.
The officials. Oop. Got him on the right elbow.
Oh, goodness. What is this? He threw
golf ball.
Gotta find a way to finish the last 54 seconds of this game. The Tennessee cheerleaders.
That was a hell of a shot to hit him with a golf ball from the fairway. I mean, that's some shot.
Yeah, it is, Grum.
They took some hits. I'm not gonna lie. I was watching them.
Here's the thing. Now, okay, Jesus. I'll tell you one thing. They should not be. They should really be careful of what they're serving these individuals here at the games. But man, oh man, you don't see that too often. Usually, you don't see the unruliness go that far.
I mean, I don't know. Are they sending like some old guy up there and saying, "Hey, can you get me a 6-pack, old timer? I'll give you a 10 spot." I don't know how it's working there at the concession stand. Are they checking for ID? How is this happening? Don't they have like a cutoff, like in the third quarter? They usually cut you off at the third quarter. They say, that's it. No more alcohol after the third quarter. Do they even serve alcohol at college games? I don't know.
Yes, they serve alcohol at the University of Tennessee games.
Okay.
And that's why you saw a whole bunch of those alcoholic cans on the floor, Grumpy old man, that they were throwing. Yeah, they did.
I used to sneak my alcohol into college games.
Ah, there it is. There it is, Grumpy. Yep, but yeah, they do serve alcohol at the games. I'm just saying, you got to do better than that, Tennessee fans, Grumpy. You took a long time on that bit. I wasn't expecting too long on that, but geez, Grumpy, you're trying to land some jokes, and I'm sorry, they just weren't hitting on my side. Wanted to bring up here, this was the game that sent the LA Dodgers into the NLCS, Grumpy old man. And wanted to get your take on it. Now, this is a check swing that controversial call. Now, again, it was 2 outs, 0-2 count. Scherzer was on the mound, so who's to say he wouldn't have struck out, Wilmer Flores here later. But I want you to go ahead and watch this, Grumpy old man.
Balls, 2 strikes. And Flores, did he go?
He
did!
Oh, that's a bad call.
What a way to end the game.
That's a bad call. Oh, man, that's a bad call. That's terrible. It's even worse now.
Oh, boy, that's bad. I don't think he went. It's bad.
Now, let me just tell you one thing what could happen. That's not a swing. Now, let's say the official wants to go, if we don't have taunting, you go, hey, Flores, you're out, 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 out. And then Flores beats him with a bat. You're probably cool with that, right?
What do you mean?
You think it's cool to taunt people. You're on the record as saying you don't think there should be taunting penalties.
No. I said that it's too much, man. I said that the taunting penalties, we have to have the happy median. I'm fine with somebody coming up and being excited after they do something. I don't want to see something crazy over the top. And again, there's a fine line. It shouldn't be 100% or nothing. Shouldn't be, hey, any celebration, whoop, taunting penalty. Come on.
Anytime you get an opponent's face, it should be a penalty. And here's the thing, Mr. Umpire here. If he goes to Flores, goes Flumbers, you're out.
You pronounce his name
next year. You're out of here.
Jesus Christ. So that's what you took away from that? That's what you took away from that clip, Grumpy?
I said it was certainly a check swing. He certainly did not swing.
Giants fans have any sort of case here that to be angry about this called strike?
Yeah, but that's not the reason you lost.
2 strikes.
Okay, I just didn't know if you were thinking to yourself, okay, I don't know. I mean, they called social media caused a big stir. I didn't know if you had any type of input on this at all besides that, Grumpy.
If he would have hit a home run on that pitch and, it was obviously a home run and they called it a foul ball, then they'd have something to really cry about. They were a long way from winning that game. I mean, a long way. I mean, Scherzer's real good. They brought him in just to pitch that 9th inning, and he certainly did the job.
Yeah, no, for certain he did. I wanted to show it to you because I figured you probably hadn't watched it. Now I wanted to kind of shift topics here a little bit, Grumpy old man. Speaking about, you want to talk about this is one I saved specifically for you. You wanted to talk about Grumpy old man, about taunting, and you wanted to talk about that being an issue. Now, what do you think about this, Grumpy old man? Interacting with the fans seems to be a commonplace here in Week 6 of the NFL. So this is CJ Uzama. So CJ Uzama comes up and smacks the camera phone out of a Detroit Lions fan. Joe Mixon starts picking up, going, wow, and he probably gave it back to him. But what the hell is this about?
Like I said.
But no penalties are called when you're doing something to the fans or you're knocking somebody's. I'm like, come on, man. Come on, CJ Uzama. Come on.
If someone came down out of the stand and broke his leg, I'd have no problem with it. None. Okay. This guy's just here video, and that's assault where I come from.
Oh, stop. It's not assault. Here's the thing, right? This is the case we've always heard, right? The players don't want to be interacted with in the fans because they're out there on the field. The players don't interact with you. And I see stuff like this, and I'm like, oh, come on, CJ Uzama. What are you doing? I mean, the Cincinnati Bengals were kicking the living shit out of the Detroit Lions all game long. But I did like Joe Mixon grabbing that and doing whatever he was doing. And he probably gave the phone back to him afterwards. So again, the end result wasn't bad, but I'm like, come on, don't knock the phone out of the guy's hand. Come on, CJ Uzama. Any better from you?
You know who he wouldn't have knocked the phone out of his hand? If Corona Boy was down there. He wouldn't have knocked the phone out of Corona Boy's hand. He would have rued the day that he did something like that.
Jesus, Grumpy.
Just, stop touching the fans. Stop. I mean, it's one thing to, celebrate with your own fans, but to go with the other team's fans, you're asking for trouble. Just ask for trouble. Get what you get. Repercussions to your actions.
Yeah, I mean, there's definitely are repercussions for actions, but I mean, again, it ended fine, so it wasn't a big deal. But I did think you'd find that one a little funny. Now, want to talk about there were some people advocating there for a soft cap in the NHL. The NHL is one of the few leagues that has the completely hard cap. Now, there have been people advocating here for a soft cap. Grump. Now, do you think that's something we ever might see in the NHL?
No, because the owners don't want it. The owners do not want that. That's the reason why. They want to know exactly what their maximum expenses are going to be, and the players will cave. They absolutely will cave. They always do, always.
Yeah, and it's unfortunate, right? It's because these players do not get paid. I mean, you look at all the other big four sports, NHL players get paid the least.
In defense of the NHL owners, which I hate to do it, they don't make anywhere near as much money as the owners of the other leagues because the TV deals aren't that big. They're just not. I mean, they have their local sports channel deals, whatever they are, and then the national TV deal. But overall, you look at how much money the NFL makes, MLB, NBA, they make a boatload of money on TV deals, where that's not the case in there. So that's why they have the hard cap. They need to make sure that their expenses are, concrete.
Fair enough, grumpy old man. Fair enough. Alexander saying here, MLB has to stop these umps. They got to stop letting them decide games.
Yeah, I mean, it is what it is. I mean, I don't have a problem with that, honestly. I mean, it's a judgment call. He thought that he went. It is what it is. I mean, that's the way every sport was till the last couple of years. To me, instant replay is ruining the games. It makes umpires indecisive.
Okay, you know what, though? When I see something like that and I say, man, oh, man, that umpire just screwed us. What's to say Max Scherzer doesn't go ahead and leave a hanging fastball or a hanging slider, and then Wilmer Flores takes it yard to win the game? That's the end of the game, right? Let's say he goes ahead and hits that home run. He leaves a pitch out on the table. Max Scherzer is excellent, fantastic pitcher. Let's say he makes one little error, and Wilmer Flores capitalizes on it, and they hit a home run, and they win, and they walk off.
Coulda, shoulda, woulda. I mean, it's a judgment call. It happens. There was a World Series where St. Louis wound up losing to Kansas City, where Doug Denkinger was the first base umpire, and a play that would have ended the World Series, would have ended it. He called a Kansas City guy, he called a St. Louis Cardinal guy out when he was safe. It was 2 foot from the bag, and it just is what it was. And then Kansas City winds up winning the World Series. I mean, that was an egregious call that cost them a World Series. It is what it is. It is what it is.
You say it's better now that, it's better. It was better when it was like that in the past because, hey, it's better they didn't have instant replay when they can overturn something like that.
Okay, because instant replay's gone too far. Now it's like millimeters of micro things. No, I'm sorry. Yes, some calls were missed. Yes, they were. But you know what? They got it probably 99.95% of the time right.
Paul F. there saying baseball desperately needs a hard cap to breed competition between the teams.
Agreed, but that's never going to happen because the players' union is too strong in that league.
Yeah, I was about to say, you look at certain players' union, the MLB is extremely strong players' union.
They don't even have a cap at all in Major League Baseball. There's no cap.
Just a luxury tax.
Luxury tax. You can spend whatever you want, but the teams have to pay the luxury tax.
Yep. John P. said, yep, that's baseball. And umps need to stop calling balls and strikes. That would fix a lot.
Well, I know they were using an experiment this year in minor leagues using the robot ball and strike thing. I honestly don't have a problem with that. Not at all.
Yeah. Alexander also weighing in saying, yeah, I agree. MLB needs to have a cap and a hard cap at that.
Not happening. Not happening.
It would be nice, but yeah, I don't think so. Just due to the nature of the players' union.
It's the players' union. That's the strongest players' union in any sport is MLB.
Yeah, no, for certain is grumpy old man. Now I wanted to migrate a little bit back a little bit towards the NHL, grumpy. Now hold on, real quick. You saw the minor leagues are for baseball. They're going to be now providing housing there for their minor league players, which is good to hear as well. So I know that a lot of those people were, talking about unlivable wages and items like that. If you were in, single A ball and items like that, it's tough to go ahead and make a living there. And now they're going to be providing housing there for the minor league players.
Yeah, Yahoo Sports came out with an article 2 weeks ago, a week and a half ago, that was crying or telling about the situation of minor league ball players who are living below the poverty line. And so what's MLB doing? They're saying, okay, well, we're going to pay for your housing. So that's their way of getting out in front. They don't want to pay him any more money, but we'll cut some deal to get you some housing. So who knows where they're going. I'm sure
they're going to live. They're going to live in some sort of team housing to where they're going to be like every single year. Hey, we own a little block of apartment. We own like a little apartment. They're not going to be living, I'm sure, an extravagant lifestyle. But remember, yeah, they came out there and they showed that certain people in the minor leagues, because they've getting bounced between place to place. You didn't have a house to live in. I was sleeping on an air mattress, and they kind of go through that. So them having, I think, team facilities to where they're going to have houses, it's going to be like college dorm, is what I assume. It's probably the best way to compare it to.
Here's the thing: MLB knew this the whole time going through. They knew it.
They knew that those minor league players were living in squalor and not having a good situation. It wasn't until, an article gets released on it, and, making the MLB look bad and public opinion starts to sway. They go, oh, yeah, let's go ahead and have a complete change of heart and start providing this. No, they knew what they were doing was wrong the entire time, but they wanted a little extra money in their pocket.
Yes, that's what the whole thing's about. It's about they're going to keep their money as long as they can, but they don't want public sentiment turning against them. So now they come out, well, look, we're the good guys now. We're going to let them live in some shanty, probably 6 guys to room. Just kidding. It's certainly not going to be a luxury apartment house they're living in. You're talking about most of these minor league clubs are in small type towns. So they're going to live in some some type of affordable housing. And that's how they try to get them off their backs.
Yep. Hey, we provide housing now for players. Not only do we provide them a salary, we also provide them housing. We provide them food when they come for game days. We provide this for them. Yeah, you're going to. So, it's always interesting to see, though, they see this injustice or they see this issue, and it's always been a problem, but not until it gets made public do they want to go ahead and get in front and do something about that.
Just like any business.
Yep. Paul F. there saying MLB will die within the next 2 decades without a cap. And he also says baseball is slow. Baby boomers are fading and younger fans hate the pace of MLB and new analytics. 3 true outcomes that are killing the game.
I don't think baseball is too slow. And the people who actually watch it are older people. The pace of the game, like I said, that's why it's too slow. The analytics is what kills me, honestly. The fact that, we're just going for home runs because that's a better outcome than if you put guys on base. You need 2 or 3 things to happen. So it's like home run, strike, or walk. Home run, strikeout, or walk. And that's what I think will eventually kill it, because it's actually slowing down the game. They're trying to implement things to speed up the game, but it just gets slower and slower because all these analytics geeks, which we've talked about in the past.
And then Paul F. also saying college baseball is way more entertaining. I think it's because of the crowd, too.
And it's also only 7 innings long.
Absolutely. Grumpy Old Man. Now, I want to show you an image, and I want to see if you can guess who this is. Grumpy Old Man. Do you know who that is? He's an NHL player.
I don't know who it is.
That's Patrick Laine.
He needs a dentist.
Hold on. Okay, the teeth maybe not look great. I wanted to get what you think about his style.
Well, I thought you put a covering over his eyes so that, maybe his eyes were a giveaway to who he might be.
No, he's got sunglasses.
I see it. It looks like they're photoshopped on his head. They're not. Okay.
Okay. Yeah. That's an actual glasses. This is the look that Patrick Laine came out with. I believe it was opening night. And again, he's got his hair all slicked back like that. And he's got, the little mustache, and he's got like those glasses. He looks like he's in a time spot there from the 80s, Grumpy Old Man.
Well, I was going to say, look at his hairline. I thought it looks a little bit like you.
Look, if I could pull that off, maybe I would. But man, I don't think it's a good look for Patrick Laine. I just wasn't sure if you'd be able to notice immediately who that was. I mean, because Patrick Laine has a distinguishable face, but this was definitely off the cuff for him.
Yeah, no, he's lucky he makes a whole lot of money. That's all I'm gonna say.
Oh man, oh man. So Patrick Laine. Now I wanted to show you here a few additional comments. Now, grumpy old man. Now these are items to where we had always talked about Erik Karlsson. He said, I obviously still think I'm one of the best players in the world. Now, I want to ask your opinion on it. Is Erik Karlsson still one of the best NHLers?
Um, well, if you look at the generality of the whole population of the world, yes, he is. But if you're just talking about, in the NHL, no, he's not. I
I
mean, because
did.
he's certainly a better player than me or you, So if you look at, overall in the whole world, he is probably one of the better hockey players in the whole world. I mean, a lot of people can't play hockey.
But in the NHL, not the case.
Oh no, in the NHL, no. I'm sorry, you're not, Eric. Not even close.
His name is Erik Karlsson. Yeah, I tell you.
I mean, when he had that Achilles injury, that was pretty much the end for him. It really was. His game was taking a slow spiral down after that.
Yeah. So again, he obviously still oozes with confidence, but that San Jose team is a team in shambles for certain. And man, oh man, Erik Karlsson, like the confidence, my friend, but I'd need to see it actually backed up this season. I mean, you've had, you talk about a few rough years in a row. I mean, it's been about 2 or 3 really rough years compared to the Erik Karlsson of old standard. That's for certain.
I don't want you to throw San Jose under the bus. They want to know this year.
They won. I know Erik Karlsson had an assist too last night. So
now,
hey guys, maybe he's on his way back. He's on the ascension.
I just want to say one other quick thing about the NHL. For everyone who wants to shovel dirt on the Pittsburgh Penguins, maybe it's time to brush that casket off just a little bit. Maybe a little bit premature.
So you're talking about grumpy old man. You got to provide some context now.
I don't think they're done. Everyone's saying that the Pittsburgh Penguins are done. Their time in the sun is over. They're not going to make the playoffs. Crosby's too old. Malkin's too old. Well, it seems like they don't even need Malkin or Crosby to have the most points in the league so far. It's only 3 games in. I understand.
They're one of the few teams that have played 3 games. So
yes, and everyone knows my stance on that is Pittsburgh is still going to be a contender to win the Metro Division. I'm not saying they're winning a Stanley Cup, but people are saying they have no shot of making the playoffs. I think you're mistaken.
Yeah, I was about to tell you. So Pittsburgh, I think you're right. I don't think they're going to finish 5th or 6th. They've looked good so far. That being said, it's early yet in the year, grumpy old man. That's all I'm going to say on that. John P.
I mean, if you look at the standings right now, you have.
You need grumpy. Go grab yourself some water. Holy,
just grab myself some water. Shut up.
Go grab yourself some water, Grump. Jesus Christ.
The Buffalo Sabres are undefeated. I mean, think about that.
Grumpy, go grab yourself some water. I got some comments to rifle through. John P said, back when I was a high school principal, I had students. I had a student who was drafted, played for the White Sox in the Mets minor league system for years. He'd come back and describe his life in the minors. It was so sad. I was about to tell you, yeah. So this is, I know. They used to play amongst a few players that were drafted too. And again, those are players to where it's like, hey, I do this, because they're chasing their dream, and it's like during the off season, okay, I've got a full-time job, and sometimes I work a part-time job in addition to the minor league games that I play as well. So I mean, yeah, it's funny though. It wasn't until that article came out that they determined that, hey, we're going to start making this a more livable situation for you.
Yeah, I mean that's just the sad truth about the minor leagues, and that's in any sport really, not just Major League Baseball. If you're not playing at the top level, you're not getting paid a whole lot of money. I mean, you get paid to be in the show. That's what you get paid to do.
Patrick F. there saying Patrick Laine going back in time.
Back in time.
That's for certain. And then Paul F. also saying here, Carlson was never the same since the injuries he sustained in Ottawa.
True. It was the Achilles. The Achilles was the one.
Yeah.
But he never played defense. He was really good offensively for a defenseman, but he never played defense.
I mean, he had a season. I mean, you look at it, what's the pinnacle for Erik Karlsson? It was 2015-16. He was 25 years old. In 82 games, he had the 82 points. Again, on a point-a-game basis there for a defenseman. I mean, today's hockey, it's unheard of. Doesn't happen very often. And I love it, right? You look back and look at these items. Erik Karlsson won Norris trophies for the best defenseman. He'd won multiple Norris. He won 2 Norris trophies in his career. My God, I tell you, if it wasn't for him putting up points in droves, and it's unfortunate, it's almost like a points contest. Who has the most points determines who wins the Norris trophy. Ugh.
Yeah, well, I mean, that's how it's been since Bobby Orr came into the league, really. You have to be able to put up some offensive numbers. it's not just about playing defense. It's about what you contribute on the other end of the ice as well. So, and Erik Karlsson was a top offensive defenseman and puck mover back in the day. If he was healthy, he'd be perfect in today's NHL. Absolutely perfect.
Yeah, but again, he provided no defense. And when I mean none, I mean absolutely zero. Paul F. also saying here, Penguins refuse to die, and it's killing me.
It tells you something about their coaching staff, though, doesn't it? I mean, really, and their organization. They're able to bring in new players, incorporate them into the system, and keep winning. I mean, good for them. I mean, I don't hate the Penguins.
Alexander also saying, never write Pittsburgh out. Just when you think it seems to be like they're out of the picture, they always find a way to get in.
Old Godfather 3 Godfather 3 reference. Just when they think they're out, they pull them back in.
Mm-hmm. Paul F. also said, hey, boys, over or under when Buffalo will collapse will be this season?
2 or 3 weeks.
November. I was about to say maybe November.
Yeah, okay, we'll go with November. That's fine.
It might be towards the end of October, but I'll give them a little generous there boost. Maybe November.
Do you remember the year where they won like 10 or 12 games in a row and they still didn't make the playoffs?
I do remember that. Was that 2 years ago?
Something like that, yeah.
And Paul F. also saying they need a new trophy for the best defensive defenseman.
Yeah.
I was about to say it's not bad. I wouldn't be opposed to an idea like that. That's for certain.
True. No problem with that.
Alexander also saying, I still think Carlson is a top 10 offensive defenseman.
I don't know about that. He's been so banged up. Who knows how many games he'll play this year, honestly. He's been injury prone the last couple of years. So, I mean, I don't think his numbers justify that at this time.
Again, he'll put up points, but I'll tell you, I mean, if I'm thinking offensive defenseman, I'm still putting, like Victor Hedmans and items of that nature. I'm putting Adam Fox ahead of him. I'm putting a lot of defensemen ahead of him at this time period.
Yeah.
And then Alexander said, yeah, that's how I feel about the Dolphins. They suck. You think that they're going to do what, they're going to do and find a way, but they disappoint you.
Like I said, I did feel bad for you today, Alexander. I almost rooted for the Dolphins, but I'm like, man, Jacksonville hasn't won. They had 20 straight losses. Man, that's tough.
They still haven't won in the United States, and however many, they're still 0-20 from the last 20 games in the United States.
And I think I'm rooting for them just so they don't fire Urban Meyer, so he's continued to be punished by coaching that team week after week.
So you're pulling for the Jacksonville Jaguars for that reason alone. I like it.
That's the only reason.
Paul F. said, yeah, he's lost a step in his skating ability. I think he for certain has. And John P. also saying here, I know it's not the never say die, but what's up with Sorokin?
For me, he's just, I think the fact that structurally as a defense, we're not really sound right now is causing him problems and shaking his confidence just a little bit. But Varlamov would be in the same situation if he was in that. Our team defense has been deplorable.
I was about to say, and maybe there's a save or two I'd like Sorokin to have back, but it's not necessary. I'm not putting it on Sorokin. I mean, I thought he's looked okay at times. He hasn't looked elite, that's for certain. Again, he was never going to be able to steal. I don't care who you slapped in net. Nobody was stealing any of these games there for the Islanders. I don't think it was. Yikes. I mean, the structure hasn't looked great, and I'll be interested to see how we look this week. I mean, big game on Tuesday. Big game on Thursday and as well on Saturday. So, I mean, those are three very, very winnable games. We've got to come away with points, got to come away with at least 2 wins out of those next 3 games.
I mean, Arizona has 1 point in 2 games. I mean, Chicago's got 1 point in 3 games. They're way better than us right now. We have 0 points.
Oh, goodness gracious.
Right now, the only team worse than us in the league is Montreal. The only team.
Okay, we've only played 2 games. All right, let's.
They're 0-3.
Alexander said, "I can't even sell my tickets. I spent over $5,000 on my season tickets."
I told you, Alexander, you should have rooted for the Bucks. Bought their season tickets. It's worth the drive.
Jesus. Paul F. said, "My dad was a sadist." Sadist to himself and listened to the whole New York Giants game. Oh, so bad.
Terrible. I do have the NFL Sunday ticket, and I usually watch the 8 games at one time. And I was watching that Giant game only because I had Darrell Henderson Jr. on my fantasy team, and he did well today. But it's like, my son come up to me and he said, I thought Mac Jones wasn't healthy enough to play with concussion. I said, well, he's playing like he still has one. So That's how bad he was today. They're a bad team. Giants are a bad team. Complete overhaul.
You mean Daniel Jones, not
Daniel
Mac
Jones.
Jones?
What I call him?
Mac Jones. Jeez.
What's the difference?
Grumpy, get yourself some freaking water, Grump. I'm not seeing any purple drink. I know you're out of your purple drink because I can tell every single time you're like,
I just have a little bit left.
he's trying to ration off. That's why every time we get something.
I am trying to ration my drink. That's true. I got the spotlight on me just burning things into my retinas.
Oh, looky there. Alexander also said it's a 4-hour drive, grumpy old man.
I know.
Fort Lauderdale to Tampa. Come on.
I was joking. I was joking. I know you're a diehard Miami.
Now, I wanted to ask you one additional question on hockey, grumpy old man. Now, Alexander Ovechkin, 3 out of the last 4 years, he's led the NHL in goals. Last year was the first time he has not since. I wanted to ask you here, how many goals you think Alexander Ovechkin, if healthy, will finish the season with?
45.
Okay.
What did you want me to do? Come up with multiple numbers?
No,
you ask me a question, I give you an answer. There's nothing for me to expound on there. You ask me a specific question for a number. I don't know. You're sitting there like somehow I'm going to explain, well, if he has 32 in the first half of the season, that means even if he has a poor second half and gets 13, that should still give him 45. 45. That's what I'm saying.
Are you pissed off that I told you to go get yourself some water, Grumpy?
You've been picking on me the whole podcast over here, attacking me.
I just want you to get some water. I could tell you're thirsty, man. It's okay. Go grab some water. No, I'm just saying. I think 45. I think is a little bit of an undersell. I think you might see a 53 or 54 goal season. That's all I'm saying. I mean, you look at it. It's weird, right? You say that older hockey players don't age, like fine wine. They age like vinegar, as the grumpy old man always loves to say.
Unless you're a truly great player, and he is a truly great player.
That for certain he is. I mean,
I'm having a drink. So before you ask me another question and make me spit drink all over myself, okay? Go.
Alexander's saying, Grump, is that an energy drink?
It is not. It's just water with a crush grape mix in there.
Oh, goodness gracious. There it is. And Paul F. saying, gentlemen, needs to go.
Gentlemen. It's Gettleman.
Oh,
Gettleman. Not gentlemen, gentlemen. Do you need a drink? Do you need a drink over there? You sure you don't have enough to drink over there? Don't drink too much. We don't need you to go to the bathroom, all right?
I've got plenty of liquid, grumpy old man. Gentleman needs to go get that metal plate in his forehead from Vietnam. God almighty.
The Giants are in trouble. They're really in trouble.
And you look at everybody who speaks about it like, oh well, they've got a whole bunch of offensive weapons out. Andrew Thomas is out. We got 3 different contributors. Shane, I believe, is out there on the offensive line. 3 offensive linemen out. Okay, you're missing, Kadarius Toney. You're missing Saquon Barkley. You're missing all these weapons. Yeah, even if those weapons were healthy and the Giants operating at full capacity, they still are a subpar team.
Is this the same Andrew Thomas that we broke down his absolutely pathetic play earlier in the year?
Because
that would be addition by subtraction because he's terrible. Talk about another bad draft selection. Teams that are good in the NFL, in any sport really, they know how to draft. The Giants haven't in recent years. They overdraft players like Daniel/Mac Jones and Dexter Lawrence and Andrew Thomas. I mean, you got Toney this year, right? Isn't that the guy they drafted in the
Kadarius Toney? He's been good. He's been good. Again, Kadarius Toney wasn't the guy they wanted. They wanted Devontae Smith.
Okay. Did they really need a wide receiver, or did they need more offensive line after the horrific Andrew Thomas pick from the year before?
They needed more offensive line.
That's his name, Andrew Jones Thomas.
That's his middle name.
Andrew J. Thomas.
Oh man, John P. there saying, will the Jets rebound at some point and level out of the bye, or are we looking at a top 3 draft pick this next year?
I think you're going to see top 3 again. I'm trying to look at the really bad teams: Giants, Jets, Jacksonville. Gosh, Miami's right there too. Who's some of the other teams? I'm trying to think some of the really, really bad teams in the league. I would have said Atlanta a couple of weeks ago, but they seems like they are improving as a team. They're bad. I'm sorry. It's going to be the same cast of characters at the bottom of the league, and you have to be able to draft well.
And I don't think the Dolphins are going to stay where they are. I mean, they're going to win more games. They're not going to end up, a 1 or 3 or 4 win team. They're going to win more games, I think, reasonably. I mean, the Steelers are a team that are borderline. We'll see what happens with them. I mean, Jacksonville, Houston Texans are miserable. The Texans are, I think, the worst team in the NFL. I'm shocked they won a game. I mean, with the Mills kid at quarterback, they have been hideous. So I'll be interested to see how they are. Tyrod Taylor, when he was playing, they're a more competent team, I thought. I mean, Jacksonville, as you mentioned, they're BADD bad. The Giants they're miserable. The Lions are the worst team in the NFL by far. So maybe not top 3. Maybe you could be like 4th or 5th, but it's not going to be good.
Let me ask you a question. I know you're a fan of Dan Campbell, right? The coach of the Detroit Lions.
Yeah, the Lions head coach.
What if you had a head coach who was doing an interview and started crying? What would the thought process of you and the locker room be there?
I don't know, Grumpy.
Okay, you know what?
Everybody's different in the locker room. Everybody's different in the locker room. Every coach has a different feel and a different effect.
No. You don't get away with that by trying to, play fence riding, politically correct boy. Here's what the response would be. Holy crap, our leader's crying? Are you kidding me? I think they'd stop playing for him.
Is that what you think?
He cried after last week, and they got absolutely rolled today at home by Cincinnati. And I'll tell you what, I love watching the Thanksgiving Day games, particularly Detroit, and I root for them every Thanksgiving.
They lose every Thanksgiving, though, too.
They don't lose. That's usually the best game of the year they play because they're always on. That's the only game they're on national TV, except for the league mandates them being on a Thursday night game.
Oh, goodness gracious. Yeah, so I guess, Grumpy, here's the thing. Dan Campbell, yikes. It was a failed experiment there in Miami at first. If he doesn't start turning around or making the team look a little more competent, they're in trouble. I mean, you have to figure they're going to be, they're in full rebuild mode. I mean, quarterback has to be looked for. I mean, yikes. The offense is miserable.
And the thing with the Jets, looking at John's question, their offensive line is really, really bad.
And Mekhi Becton got injured immediately again, too, I think.
Yeah. I don't like their skill position guys either. I think their defense is getting better, to be honest with you. But their offensive line is horrid. They have no running backs. Michael Carter is okay. He's a rookie. But wide receivers, it's like, they're just ham and eggers. They're just jags. Jameis Crowder.
Jameis Crowder is not bad. Jamison Crowder is not bad.
Okay. On a good team, he's a number 3. Yeah. Corey Davis, he failed in Tennessee. He has some type of rapport occasionally with Zach Wilson. But they're not good offensively. They're not.
Fair enough, Grumpy. Fair enough. Alexander saying Ovi will have 50 goals. Paul F. there saying he is Eddie from National Lampoons.
Oh, okay.
John P. said, "Hey, Grumpy old man, I offered to TJ to send you some Eastern New Mexico University Greyhound gear to wear. Never heard back. I forgot to tell Grumpy."
Yeah, well, there you go. See, you see how bad he makes me look, John. See now, and John has to confront you publicly. Okay, because if you send me something, I'd wear it, no problem, and I'd give you props for it too. I do that.
I apologize. John P., there's your response. I'm sorry. I totally forgot there, John. Alexander saying, Grumpy, look at his face. I apologize. Alexander saying, Eagles have Miami's pick, and we have San Francisco's pick. Ooh, not good. Paul F. said, this season is necessary for a fire sale of management. We're back to the early 80s of pain.
Yeah, I don't know if no, I actually think it's worse than that. It's worse than when George Young and Parcells came in, honestly.
Really?
Yes.
I don't think they're that far off. I think their Daniel Jones sucks. He's awful. They don't
have a quarterback. So you don't have a quarterback.
If you're picking in the top 5, I'd like to say that maybe we can pick. And the thing that spurns my ass, because I'm a Giants fan too, is you see all these young quarterbacks that were selected. Mac Jones isn't bad. Justin Fields looks good at times, especially when his weapons are performing. And there's a lot of people out there you think to yourself, I'm like, oh, yeah, the quarterbacks that were drafted this year, it was a hell of a quarterback class. And the Giants passed over just about every single one of them. You just think to yourself, like, oh, man, you had, a ripe option of very, very talented young quarterbacks. And we said, nope, let's go ahead and roll with Daniel Jones again. The same thing the Dolphins did, and they're going to be kicking themselves too. I mean, it's not like it's just an issue that the Dolphins have. The Giants did the same damn thing this year.
A lot of teams do it. They think, well, let's give him another year. No. At some point in time, you say, you know what? He's not going to make it. There's somebody younger, a new, shinier toy that we want to give a shot to. Just go ahead and draft him because it's the most important position in sports. If you have a really good quarterback, you can be good for 10, 15 years.
Think about Arizona. Think about Arizona as well. They drafted Josh Rosen, 11th or 9th overall the year before. 10th overall the year before. And Cliff Kingsbury gets there, new coach, new style, and he says, you know what? No, I don't think Rosen's our answer. We're going to go ahead and draft Kyler Murray. People are like, oh, man, damn, I already given up on Josh Rosen. He was a 10th overall pick a year ago, right? I mean, they only got a third-round pick back in return for him. Well, tell you one thing, 3 years removed from that bold decision that Cliff Kingsbury made to draft Kyler Murray first overall, it's really panned out for the team. What are they, 5 or 6? They're 6-0?
6-0. 6-0. Yep.
I mean, hell, the Arizona Cardinals, I mean, I'd be remiss if I didn't say they also fleeced the Houston Texans out of, DeAndre Hopkins. And they got DeAndre Hopkins for David Johnson and what was it, a second-round pick?
Yeah, that's when Bill O'Brien was trying to get himself fired. I mean, some of these things that these coach/GMs do is just mind-boggling, honestly.
It is. John P. also saying, send me the info to both you guys. I'll get you that gear. Will do, John P. I won't forget. Now Grumpy knows too. He's going to hold.
Don't forget.
I want to show you, Grumpy, kind of shifting gears here, talking a little.
You know how embarrassing it is when you're a podcast or multiple podcasts now who've been promoting possibly getting out our own merchandise, and people look at us and they think we have to send these people clothes. I mean, just think about it. That's pretty bad.
God almighty, Grumpy. I apologize. We're working on the merchandise. Hard at work, Grumpy.
It's true, we are.
Hard at work. You could say so now too. That being said, I wanted to show you a few more, right? So this is the first time back to club soccer. Again, at the end, I always like talking a little soccer at the end. So Newcastle United fans, I just wanted to show you what these Newcastle United fans are showing up to the
by riding a camel.
No. That's a Saudi. That's a guy like a Saudi sheik. And he's got, it's like, people do the Halloween where they have like, oh, it's like I'm two people, I'm on top of something else. So I'll put like an ostrich or something else. This guy made a Saudi sheik and then put himself, and it's just like he's wearing the pants on that. And he's got himself his Newcastle jersey on, and he's put himself a little tiny a head, whatever, I don't know what they call that, some sort of head hat on him as well to look like he
a head hat.
I don't know what to call that. I don't think it's. What can I say? I'm not cultured. I know it's not a. I know it's not like a hijab or anything like that, but it's like some sort of head hat.
I expect John, the educated one of this podcast, to send us what that's called. Yeah, I'm going to tell you what it's not called. It's not called a head hat.
Hey, he's wearing his head hat over there. What can I tell you, Grump? So you got it's multiple fans, Grumpy, and goodness gracious, it's multiple fans that are wearing this type of apparel when they go to the game at St. James Park, and just look at them. They're all over here. All these people in England are wearing these. They're wearing these head hats. Look, so they're all excited about the new.
Okay, at least those guys look authentic.
I was about to say, like, you see these English.
I'm sorry. No. I mean, look at Mr. Purple Shirt. No, come on. Dude. All right. When you left the house, I don't know if you have a wife / girlfriend / mother / anyone in your life. They should have said to you, no, do not go out of the house looking like that, or no one will be here when you get home, especially when it gets posted on the internet.
Oh,
I mean, look, it's I don't know. What's an English name? It's Nigel.
It's
there. He don't look like no Nigel. I'm just gonna
oh man. So I wanted to show you that. I figured you get a kick out of that one, grumpy old man. And we got another comment here. Paul F saying here, the worst part of a bad New York Giants team is that I'm in Cowboys land and they're arrogant fans.
You're without. I feel for you. I mean, they are unbearable, insufferable, and they haven't won anything. And it seems like since 1994. I think they've won one playoff game in the last 28 years.
I can look at the last time we won a Super Bowl. I could put it on a VHS player.
They're insufferable.
I know what it films is, and then what it films as a Cowboys fan. But again, like what is not a bad Cowboys fan. Some Cowboy fans though are insufferable, is right. But it's just like because they're America's team. I don't know how they dubbed themselves as America's team, but it's made where they have a strong fan base in any state. Any state, you could be in Montana. There's going to be a strong group of Dallas Cowboy fans.
Yeah, I mean, I was watching the New England game this afternoon, and I heard the Cowboys fans chanting. I tell you what, when Brady was there were no Cowboy fans in the stands when they came. But now, since they're losers, all those tickets up for sale. And the Cowboys fans, they do travel. And since they're good now, oh, man, I'm just glad Tampa beat them on opening night. It's like I said, they think they're winning the Super Bowl.
Dallas, I tell you, Dallas
is not winning a Super Bowl.
I'm not saying they're winning the Super Bowl. I'm just saying they're good.
They think they're winning Super Bowl, and now you're hearing you hear Tony Romo saying it, and Jim Gray. Both of them are trumpeting.
Jim Nantz, you mean?
Jim Nantz. Okay, yeah, Jim Nantz.
So funny you speak about that. I have an inside source. Not going to reveal who it is. Jim Nantz has a charity that he does. He provides like scholarships and items like that for young caddies that are working their way through college. And Jim Nantz provides them, money and everything like that, or provides them like scholarship, tuition money. So Jim Nantz was wanting to have like a one-on-one where it was kind of like, hey, thank you. It was like a dinner, and they were going to have like a one-on-one interview with him, and Tony Romo was going to be the person interviewing him. So this was happening on Friday evening. Well, you might see a little bit of this on the internet, but they did a good job of keeping it under wraps. Tony Romo showed up about an hour and a half late, blitzed out of his mind, hammered drunk. And you could just see, like on a few of the images, he just got a shit-eating grin on his face, and they had to escort him off the interview. It was supposed to be originally set up for like an hour-long dialogue to where he was asking Jim Nantz questions because they worked together in the CBS booth. And again, like you could tell by the way when Tony Romo was introducing him, like, man, oh man, he was hammered out of his mind. And the hour-long conversation they were supposed to have wound up only lasting 15 minutes before they said, all righty, thank you so much, Tony Romo. Oh. I died laughing when I heard that story. That just happened on Friday. I want to see if I can pull anything up for it. But man, oh man. So I didn't notice like any type of tension or anything like that between Jim Nantz and Tony Romo in the booth today when they were calling the game. But I did think you'd find that story funny.
Oh my God. But like I said, for me, just to hear, they're definitely contenders for the Super Bowl. They can't play any defense. They cannot play defense. That's going to be their undoing. And I'll tell you what, Dak Prescott, I don't like the way he's throwing the ball right now. His arm motion looks funny sometimes. I wonder what's going on with him. And he threw 455 yards. Is this it right here?
There's some pictures. And again, Tony Romo face interviewing Jim Nantz right now. 10 out of 10 would recommend.
Oh my God.
Oh, they have to shut. Here it is too. They have to shut Tony Romo off mid-interview. What an evening. Oh God Almighty. Yeah. So it did not go well. He showed up about an hour and a half late, and they had to shut him off about 15 minutes into the hour-long, one-on-one conversation they had scheduled.
Nah, poor Tony Romo.
Poor Jim Nantz. I feel bad for poor Jim Nantz as he's trying to do this. It's like hey guys, because remember they have donors there as well who donate to give these individuals their scholarships so they can work their way through school. And again, he wanted to have like a nice item set up. He had everything all planned for it. And Tony Romo, first off, shows up late and then shows up hammered drunk. Oh, come on, man. I know you're doing a solid for your partner, Jim Nantz, but gosh, if you're going to show up late, don't show up intoxicated. I prefer you not show up intoxicated at all, but the people there at that event never forgot. I'm sure they'll never forget that night.
Maybe he had low blood sugar. I mean, you don't know he was drunk.
Oh man, oh man. Oh, so it was. I thought you'd find that one entertaining, Grumpy Old Man.
Yeah.
John P, just like you do, Grumpy Old Man, said you guys are hilarious. They're called a Kiev. They're called what do they call it?
I don't know. Whatever you just said was wrong. I'm saying I can't pronounce it, but you know what it doesn't say? It doesn't say head hat. That much I can tell you it does not say. Kiev?
Kiev, otherwise known as in the United States as a head hat. I think it's a Kiev. I don't know.
It's not a Kiev. It's not a Kiev. It's not a Kiev.
Kiev.
If it's phonetic, it's Kepia.
I don't know. I can't pronounce it.
I don't know enough about it to even know the name. I'm sorry.
Alexander said, "Oh, I forgot to tell you guys about when I was leaving. One of the Panthers fans told me, we don't want your freaking New York Island bums here." Ooh.
Oh, maybe he's talking about Denny Potvin, who's no longer calling games there.
Oh wow, I don't know.
I think he's in Ottawa now. I think Denny's in Ottawa.
Good for him. I mean, Ottawa. I'll tell you, they've got.
I tell you, I used to watch the Florida Panther games just to listen to Dennis Potvin. I always enjoyed him as a color commentator. I always liked Denny Potvin.
Absolutely grumpy old man. Denny Potvin is.
That said, Randy Crowder, who's taken over, is better at the job than he is. Denny had slipped the last couple of years, but like Butch, he's up there in age too. And Randy Crowder's really good at it. He is good at it.
Butch is getting there, man. I tell you. Here's the thing. Next year they should be looking for another individual.
They're probably going to try to slide AJ in the booth. Then Brandon will really be in trouble.
Oh man, I tell you, I've always there's a handful of individuals to pick from, but I mean, like Butchie, we love him, but the sun sets on everybody.
And I think Shannon looks like she lost 15 pounds from last year, 20 pounds. She looked really good.
She looked good. Yeah, absolutely. Paul F. there saying, "LOL, Princess Nomo,
priceless. It's priceless. Nomo.
Priceless. Nomo strikes again. Maybe Romo strikes again." Alexander was saying Romo screwed everything up. Oh man, that's for certain. Want to go ahead and talk to you a little bit more, grumpy old man, about your favorite coach in all of soccer, grumpy old man. Your favorite coach in all of soccer, Ole Gunnar Solskjær. We're looking at the upcoming matches they had, and now here it is. Right, Ole's going to be gone. I think he's as good as gone.
What did I tell you? What did I tell you at the beginning of the year? Do you remember?
They're not good enough. Benya is not good enough to win it.
And their coach is a clown, needs to be gone. 2 weeks later, he's already on death watch, which is where he should be. He should already be gone.
So they lose to Leicester City here yesterday. They lost, and man, was it a bad loss. They lost, I think, by 2 goals. It was pathetic. And then they've got Atlanta and Champions League here 4 days from now. Then they've got Liverpool 4 days thereafter. Yikes. Then they've got Tottenham 6 days after, Atlanta again in November, Man City. They got Watford, a little bit of a break there with Watford. Then they've got Villarreal. Then they've got Chelsea, and they've got Arsenal. So
he's done. He's done. You know how you know a coach is done? When after the match, after a really bad match, they give him a vote of confidence. That's how you know he's done. Done. He's done. Yeah. He sucks. He's horrible. I love how it says if the PE teacher survives this, then Man U will win the league. Because that's what he is. Wholly out now.
Oh man.
You were trumpeting him as a good coach. I told you he sucked. And who's right again?
Here's the thing.
I think right all the time.
I think Zidane. I think if you're getting rid of Ole, bring in Zidane. He's an absolute fantastic. He's a fantastic manager of players and individuals. He gets the most out of the players on the team. Might not be the best X's and O's tactical type of a manager there is, but regarding actually getting everything moving in the same direction, he's fantastic at that.
Okay. Here's the thing.
Okay.
Zidane, if they had a whole bunch of talent, he's real good at massaging egos. They have no talent, with the exception of Ronaldo.
So they're going Bruno Fernandes, Jordan Sancho. They got a lot of talent.
No, they don't. Sorry, you're wrong again.
Alexander, this is I think this would be good. Rick DiPietro for Butchie. I would be 100% on board for that. Rick DiPietro for Butch Goring.
Yeah, why not? At least let him do some games. What's wrong with that? Try out a few guys. Break them in.
Exactly. And even if next year you're saying like, "Hey, Butchie, we've loved that you've been great for us here. We want to go ahead. It's tough. 82 games every night. We want to go ahead and give you breaks. We're going to have you go about every other game. Then we're going to have Rick DiPietro. And we're going to have a few guys that we're going to come in there too. But during the playoffs, you're going to be our guy. But we want to give you some breaks, man. I know it's a long season. You want to spend some more time with your family. Whatever.
Get his wife and family involved. That's what I was going to say. Say, hey, Mrs. Butchie.
Hey, Mrs. Goring.
Don't you want Butchie home a little bit? Hey, daughter Butchie, don't you want him to spend a little bit more time around the grandkids? And I'm sure. Oh yeah, we love have Dad around. Yeah, we love having my hubby around. hey, Butchie, you know what? Talk with your family. They'd love to have you home a little bit more. Why don't we let you spend a little bit of time with them in season 2? You can't be seen as forcing them out. That's a bad look, and I don't think they would do that.
No. John P. also said the Islanders will get their act together and make a run, especially as the atmosphere at UBS becomes established as a place opposing teams are not going to look forward to playing in.
The only thing that concerns me is our lack of team speed on the back end. That's the only. I mean, I think we will come together as a unit as the season goes on. But, man, our lack of team speed is hurting because that's the way the NHL is going. You look at every other team, how they're building their squads, speed and skill up front. And we have to do something to combat that.
Paul F. said, come on, we're proud Americans. We don't want to commie soccer. Oh, I love soccer. I love some soccer. Paul F. said, I hope the Islanders get better, but I've got some doubts.
It's a long season. It's a long season.
John P. said, we just need to start trying them out like Jeopardy.
That's true. That's true.
Alexander said, I used to love watching Ed Westfall and then Jiggs McDonald.
They were my favorites. Jiggs McDonald in 18.
And Paul laughed there saying, Boy Chuck in the booth or grumpy old man.
They would never. I wouldn't actually want to be in the booth. I'd want to be doing the intermission shows with Shannon.
Maybe one time this year we're going to try out an in-game.
We'll do an in-game. We will do an in-game.
I know we talked about doing that. That's on the list. We can do that. We can schedule to make sure we're going to have one in game where we can watch the game as it happens.
It's going to have a TV MA rating though, because I use language, particularly when certain members of the team do certain things that drive me crazy. I just do. I know I do. And the warden says, "Stop it down there! Stop screaming! Be quiet."
Oh man. And I'm sure you're doing nothing wrong for the warden to do something like that, right, Grumpy?
No, she's got a problem. She's a dictator.
Oh, goodness gracious. She comes out with her dictums. Must be quiet. Oh, goodness gracious. I'm sure you're being loud. I can only imagine what you're like watching these games, Grumpy old man.
Loud.
So I've got two of these. I've got two of these here I want to show you. Sorry, Paul. We're going to have to look through it here. Now, talking about, because I want to show you Paul Pogba. Now, this is Harry Maguire.
He sucks.
What the fuck was that?
He gave away the first goal, too. He sucks.
What the hell was that, Harry Maguire?
His name is Harry Maguire. Do you expect him to be athletic? I'm sorry. No.
Harry Maguire. Yeah, for certain not. That being said, yikes bad. Now, I want to let you listen to what Paul Pogba had to say after the game. You talk about a dead man walking. Just take a listen here at this. I mean, this is not good, I don't think.
Paul, a difficult afternoon. Where do you feel the game was really lost?
To be honest,
and here's the thing, too. The reason I love soccer, listen to how they ask those type of questions. Could you ever see Art Staple, Andrew Gross, anybody in the Islanders cartel media ever asking a question like that? Hey, Anders Lee, it's a tough afternoon for you. Why did you lose the game? Could you ever see them asking a question ever like that to Anders Lee? Never in a million freaking years will they ever ask a question that tough.
And they answer the question straight here too. It's not like
listen to Paul Pogba. He does not avoid the question. Listen to it here.
We've been having those kind of games for a long time, and we haven't found the problem. We need to find what's the problem to concede goals, easy goals, say stupid goals. When we know those games, when you play in this pitch, the fan gonna push, gonna put pressure on us and everything. So you need to be more mature. I think we need to play with more experience, arrogance in a good term, meaning that we have to take the ball and play our football. But now you have to find what's the key of this change and this game that we lose, because I think we deserve to lose today.
I think we deserve to lose today, too. I tell you, the NHL, yeah, and again, like that's all sports here. At football, they don't ask questions like that. You don't see questions like that in hockey. But hey, you guys look poor today. Why'd you lose?
He sucked. Didn't deserve to win.
We didn't deserve to win. So again, I like it. I like it. That's for certain. John P said, you guys are the best. Thanks there, John P. And then Paul F said, looks like green against the Panthers. Oh, talking about Harry Maguire. Oh my
Yeah,
God.
that's exactly what it looked like.
That's exactly. I like that. I did.
Andy Gangrene.
Andy Gangrene. Alexander.
He skates like he's getting ready to lose his feet to amputation.
Alexander said, "Did you guys see the trailer for the new Flash movie?"
I have not. I did see the trailer for the new Batman movie. I don't know why Robert Parkinson's wearing all that eye makeup when he's talking to Alfred.
I'll be honest with you. I don't watch any of those superhero movies.
What a loser. Why don't you go eat 6 hot dogs without hot dog buns?
Hey, man, I love myself some hot dogs. I'm about to say, I'll get some dinner here going in. Maybe I'll get some hot dogs. Maybe I'll eat some more hot dogs, grumpy old man. I love myself some hot dogs. Paul F. said, you guys really need to figure out how to sneak in a news correspondence in post-game to represent the Islanders Never Say Die podcast. I was about to say, I'm sure, I promise you, because I've heard from little birdies that people... that people up in the big wigs have actually listened to us before and do not like everything that we espouse or talk about. So in order for us to find a way to get some sort of like post game, correspondent in for that, we would have to change it. It'd have to be a brand new name to be like, hey, this is a brand new podcast backed up by some sort of XYZ site. Can we go ahead and get in? It had to be some sort of sneaky way into a post game problem.
They want to control like the state-run media. It's like communism. The Islanders, honestly, you're not allowed to report anything that they disagree with.
Yeah,
nothing.
Mm-mm.
I don't care. It's honestly, it's easy for me because I'm not beholden to anyone. I say whatever I want, whenever I want.
Oh goodness, comfy.
What's the worst thing you could do? Say you don't have a podcast anymore? Okay, no problem. I have a life.
Yeah,
not like some of these fly-by-night sites.
Oh, looky there. I wonder who that's for. Anyway, grumpy old man. Hey, we covered a lot today in sports. I want to ask, is there anything else you want to say before we wrap things up today?
I just want to say love and laughter to everyone who listens and even those who don't. From TJ and the grumpy old man, I truly mean that. We love everybody who takes part in the show and who listens. We really do.
Absolutely, we do. And thank you, everybody, for tuning in and listening. Again, we do this podcast live every single Thursday, 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, and every single Sunday, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And to make sure you don't miss out on any of the action, subscribe on YouTube, like on Facebook, and follow on Twitter. We're going to be bringing this here to a more podcast format for those who do like the audio only. That being said, you're going to miss out on the fan fight sections, which were hilarious. We had a few of them today, which were complete gold. So, there's always some that you might have to have some of the visual context for as well. But hey, thank you everybody so much for tuning in, listening, talking, and I appreciate it. And thank you again, grumpy old man.
My pleasure.